So you want to run a Legend of the Five Rings Samurai RPG, but you're not sure how to keep all of your characters together. Not in a don't split the party sense, but I mean you have all these characters from different, diverse backgrounds, all these different clans, the 7 great clans and all the dozens of minor clans. They're all part of the same empire, but they're also different entities. Why would they be traveling together, going on missions across the entire land, doing things, doing the traditional tabletop RPG thing? Doesn't really make sense for this setting, right? How do we make that happen? Well, how does the game do it? How does the game keep the party together in this sense? Depends on the adventure. Some adventures might have certain aspects to it where they have specific advice tailored to that adventure, but their biggest explanation, the quickest, easiest way to keep all these different samurai together and traveling all over the land is to make them federal agents, samurai FBI or US Marshals, basically. The Emerald Magistrates, as they're called. So in this scenario, either one or all of your samurai players are part of the Emerald Magistrates or training to be Emerald Magistrates. We'll come back to that. They're a task force of samurai FBI. They go on missions for the government and they have jurisdiction throughout the land. And yeah, if not everyone wants to be an Emerald Magistrate, because that sort of implies a certain competence or certain types of characters, like they might just not work as federal agents. Some characters are just too quirky and weird to where it doesn't make sense, or you really have your heart set on playing a peasant. Well, one of these players could be an Emerald Magistrate. All you need is one, and then the rest sort of serve that samurai. There could be other samurai sort of assigned, like a bodyguard assigned to protect this person who doesn't need another sword, or it could be a peasant ashigaru, a peasant soldier kind of a thing going on, doing the same thing. Or can't hurt to have a money guy. It's unseemly for samurai to hold money, so you have a peasant or other samurai who doesn't care about the unseemliness. They're doing it. There's all these different roles, or whatever else they're assigned to help the Emerald Magistrate of the group. Or you have multiple magistrates and multiple advisors, or some combination thereof. Or you're all Emerald Magistrates, or you're deputies, or what is it, Yuriki? They're like permanent assistants, like paralegals to lawyers. Yuriki are sort of permanent assistants to Emerald Magistrates, or you could have others in training, or whatever else. I don't like the Emerald Magistrate solution. You're already samurai, the upper crust of society, and having everyone just start as samurai FBI, these federal investigators with all this power to jurisdiction to go everywhere. It's just so big. I feel like it's better if it's earned in gameplay. Eventually they become Emerald Magistrates and do the mission, the free online mission, where you were invited to train, or some of your players are invited to train with the Emerald Magistrates. The Palace of the Jade Champion or something, I think it's called. Palace of the Emerald Champion. One of those, you can do an adventure where you do training and investigation alongside, and that could be fun, but I like the idea of it being earned later on. Or maybe you have one campaign where you're all Emerald Magistrates, and that's the premise, but to have it be the default, I don't know, I think that's kind of lame. You're already samurai, what more do you want? Now, benefits of this approach is that it's just the easiest thing to do. Make whatever character you want, and also you were recruited to be part of the Emerald Magistrates, or help them, or whatever. Don't worry about why you're with who, it doesn't matter, I'll take care of everything, and then you have this idiot handle of assigning them missions throughout the Empire. They could also do stuff specifically for their clan, which may be against the mission, secretly of course, because they don't want to get beheaded or whatever it is they do to you in Rokugan, and that could be fun, but it's the easiest way, but also I think it's the lamest, partially because it is the easiest way. Because this is a game about a feudal society and all these clans working together technically for the good of the Empire, but also against each other. There's battles, there's backstabbing literally and figuratively, there's diplomacy and choking out of resources and economic deals and more battles and all this stuff, and meanwhile you're just going about your business. It just breeds players working together because they're samurai, they're upper crust, they're traveling. Oh, you're going this direction, me too. Hey, look, there's some bandits. Let's show them what for. And then you get to town and you have your own separate business to take care of. And this could very well be counter to the person you were just fighting alongside because you're separate clans. This game just begs for what I call passive-aggressive PvP, and sometimes not so passive-aggressive PvP. That's why you play this game. So I much rather have a situation where, as a GM, I'm coming up with personal reasons for the players to be where they are, doing their thing. Along the way, they find companions, traveling companions, and maybe their goals align for a little bit. Maybe they kind of drift apart in terms of goals, but physically not necessarily drift apart. You're going that way? Well, I'm going to this town, but it's kind of on the way, and we'll travel together. And a weird way of sort of micromanaging the players and their motivations so they're always kind of together, at least to the point to where it becomes a regular thing with some of them. But it just depends on the character. I'm catering to the individual characters, their motivations and their place in the worlds, and just using that to keep the party together. It's not easy, sure, but to me it's more satisfying, creates more satisfying campaigns. Now, there are a lot of ways to make this easier on you. First of all, ideally, we would want to maybe condense some motivations of some characters. I would talk to the players and see who their character is, and okay, so you want to be from this clan, and you also want to be from this clan. Do you know each other? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, maybe they're brothers, maybe they're not. One thing I could do, if they're from the same clan, is assign one to the other. You're a courtier, you're a warrior, okay, you're going to be the bodyguard for this person. So now I've condensed these two people's motivations into one, essentially. So all this micromanaging, I'm talking about 5 players, but I only have to worry about 4 different motivations, 4 idiot handles to pull on to keep them together in a believable way for their characters and goals and all that. And it's easier to glom a warrior onto another character, be it another warrior or not, because traveling is dangerous. It's dangerous to go alone, take this, and then you hand them another warrior. Or it could be a citizen soldier, an Ashigaru, if you don't want to play a samurai or whatever. That's a separate video, not playing a samurai. Anyway, courtiers need bodyguards or Shugenja priest-type characters. It can't hurt to have another warrior, or perhaps someone needs to handle the money. Your courtiers or your artisans, depending on which one specifically and how they're built, it would make sense that they could serve as sort of an advisor type to someone else. If one samurai is a warrior tasked with finding a lost daughter outside in another clan, they're taken by bandits across state lines, and I need you to go get them. The Emerald Magistrates, they're too busy, or they're not listening, or they think she's dead, but I know she's alive, and you need to go get her. It makes sense that a more scholarly artisan type character who might know the lands better because of the ranks they have in those particular skills or abilities or whatever, they might help the warrior find that person and carry out that investigation. And the thing is, you don't have to be part of the same clan to be traveling together on the same missions, going to the same places for the same goals. You can be from different clans because there are deals made all the time between the clans where some samurai might be lent out for a year to serve as bodyguards in the courts or whatever. That was a specific example from, was it Winter's Embrace? That was something that Dragon Clan was offering as part of their winter court because they needed rice, so they made a trade. And you could be someone who was traded to another clan for X amount of time to perform whatever duty, bodyguarding for this particular person, or whatever else. So you're a Dragon Clan warrior combat person of some kind, probably a Miramoto two swords person, or the Tagashi tattooed order monk, assuming you kind of focus on the combat. They kind of naturally focus on combat, don't they? Or even the investigator, or anyone else who can fight. Does it make sense that you'd be transferred over as a bodyguard to a courtier? You are paired, assigned to a Crane Clan Doji diplomat, and you're going to follow them around. So the Doji diplomat, they go on missions to do things, whatever, and you're just along for the ride as a Dragon Clan person. And again, we have a condensing of motivations of 2 characters. But this variation doesn't really work with certain types of characters. Would I really lend out one of my courtiers, my diplomats, to another clan to make deals for that clan? I mean, it just doesn't seem very prudent, no matter how good of allies you are with that other clan. I don't know if you should really lend a diplomat to do that. Warriors make sense, just keep someone alive for bodyguarding artists, perhaps. It's very common for a samurai of one clan to love the art, a particular artist from a samurai from a different clan, and hey, you go just do poetry in the courts for this one samurai lord for a year. Or you're a Caillou engineer, or renowned for engineering, you go help repair the walls of this Crane Clan fortress. They're devastated by the tsunami, I guess. I don't think Crane and Crab are on the best terms, but that's another thing to consider, though. And you always want to consider what is the relationship between the clans and the trading. Like if a Lion Clan warrior was sent to bodyguard a Crane Clan diplomat for a year, that would really only work as if it was like a punishment to both parties, right? To the individual characters, because they hate each other. They would never send a warrior to guard a courtier because there's a chance that they could learn something from being around that courtier, no matter how separate you keep them, or they're only around them in certain areas. Still, they're gonna pick up in something. They might learn something about the enemy that they hate. So that courtier would never have any like real decisions, no real power, no real knowledge, most likely. And the Lion Clan would kind of know that it would have to be like a punishment for both. You're on this crap duty of looking after this other diplomat, and you're on this crap duty of having this Lion Clan over your shoulder. Obviously, we're not going to give you any real responsibility and power and say for our clan, because you've got this enemy over your shoulder, looming over you 24/7. Clearly, I'm doing this just to punish you. I kind of like that, though, because eventually these two characters could have enough disdain for their clans for being punished. Maybe they don't think it's justified, and actually push them together, and then eventually all the players build their own clan and overthrow the empire and make a republic or something. I don't know. Now, another aspect of figuring out why an individual player is going to a particular part of the empire or traveling with particular people can be found in the school themselves, or in the lore of that land. So, one big example of this is in the core book, Phoenix Clan Shiba Defender, or Guardian, Shiba Guardian. Their whole thing is that they're warriors, sort of classy talker warriors, but warriors nonetheless, who are taught how to dance with the magics of the Asawa Elementalists, because their job is to guard the Asawa Elementalists, best magic users in the entire empire. They need an entire school of samurai to protect them. Anyway, that's their job, and their special ability involves them being better at working with magic users. I don't have the Phoenix Clan book just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a section in there talking about how it's not uncommon for a Shiba Guardian every now and again to just go on like a pilgrimage of sorts, I guess, traveling with other magic users of other disciplines from other clans, because the energies or the way they use their magic, like maybe it's different somehow, and so they can learn, kind of expand their knowledge of dancing with the magics of a Kuni purifier from Crab Clan for a while, or some other magic user, and they can use that knowledge and sort of bring it back to Phoenix Clan, and so they can better protect their Asawa Elementalists, right? It kind of makes sense. Someone would have the idea to do it, and maybe a samurai lord would assign a samurai Shiba Guardian to do it. It makes sense. So if you have a Shiba Guardian in your party and at least one other magic user of some kind, anyone who does any kind of invocations, they decided they're going to travel with this person and just go wherever they go, do whatever they do, as long as it's not woefully against Phoenix Clan, then they can travel together, and you've condensed things further in a way that's sort of unique to that character and unique to the decision that the player made to pick this school. It feels more catered to them, which is kind of neat. Another example, core book has the Matsu Berserkers from the Lion Clan. They specialize in using their rage to do combat and stuff. If you read the Crab Clan source book, there's a rage temple, basically, where Crab Clan warriors, or I guess warriors from other clans as well, they could do a pilgrimage to this rage temple and meditate on being really angry so that they can, according to the crab, be in such a battle fury that even if they get decapitated, they can get a couple good swings in after the fact. Well, it kind of makes sense that a Matsu Berserker might go on a pilgrimage with permission from their lord, or maybe they're assigned by their lord, go on a pilgrimage to the Crab Clan lands and meditate in that temple. Any time spent with the group on the way to Crab Clans is just, well, traveling in numbers is safe, and you don't want to die before you even get to the temple. How embarrassing would that be? And then any stuff they do within Crablands itself is them getting permission to actually meditate at the temple. Crab, they're kind of pragmatic. They don't mind people learning stuff from outside for the most part, but you typically have to earn it. We got demons to kill, so You have to go over the wall and do your rage stuff over the wall, kill some demons, and then you can meditate at the temple. Like, you could string that person along forever. You could also do a similar thing with any kind of gruff around the edges type of a warrior character. Moto Conqueror from Unicorn Clan, that seems to fit really well. Or even you could kind of take the opposite approach. Maybe there's a Daidoji Iron Warrior, Kakita Duelist, and the Crane, that they seem like they would be against the whole harnessing your rage and using that thing. Like, it seems unseemly, so maybe a Crane Clan warrior, he might disagree with Clan's beliefs, and he might see the value in giving into your rage and controlling it and harnessing it. Maybe the person he was assigned to protect was cut down. If only he had given into his rage, he would have been able to protect them, and so I guess he would be a Ronin, possibly, depending if that was his lord, and he goes off to meditate at the Rage Temple. I also like it as a punishment for a Matsu Berserker. Like, you're too much of a wuss, you need to go to this foreign clan, they can teach you how to be angry, then you can come back. Could be a Genpuku kind of a thing as well. Anyway, there's 18.5 billion things you could do with this, but hopefully I, at the very least, gave you some basic ideas on how to keep the party together, kind of micromanage them, or maybe broader strokes ways on how to keep them together. So you got two crab clans, maybe siblings, estranged siblings. They don't get along for whatever reason, there's a falling out, but they have a mutual childhood friend, and they were kidnapped, and it was believed that the friend was actually killed, but you both know there's no way he would have survived. He was still alive. We have to go find him, even though we don't like each other. And so you go on a mission to find the person, and then maybe it turns into, okay, well, he does get dead, but then you can go on revenge. So they have their mission and their idiot handle that you can drag them wherever you want across the world, and, you know, they're gonna cross state lines to do it because it's personal. And maybe it's not the best thing to do, or maybe they disobeyed their lord, maybe they were assigned to do this, whatever reason, they're off going to find their friend. Meanwhile, there's a diplomat from Crane Clan being bodyguarded by a Dragon Clan person. They meet up on a road. Oh, you're going this way? Us too. Hey, let's travel together. Let's talk, let's play some games, let's be douchey, upper crust of society people together, fight bears and bandits along the way. And GMs, you can even solidify this in the mechanics if you want, like you could just do in backstory. Oh yeah, you met up, you're traveling together, you've been talking for a few days, you have a decent rapport, blah 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 blah. Or you can start with them just coming from two different roads, and then one of them gets attacked by bandits, or one of them stops a bandit attack, and then the other people intercede, and so there's this uniting incident. Maybe it starts as a dialogue to intimidate and try and get the bandits to surrender, and then maybe it turns into a combat. Then the wagon that the bandits attacked, that the peasants were moving, is kind of destroyed, the wheel is busted, and the samurai, if they want, they could lower themselves to get in the mud and try and help the wagon wheel get fixed or whatever. The artisan character, if there is one, might come in handy, putting stuff together. You have a wide variety of checks and things to get them acclimated to the game, to combat and talking and blah blah blah. You have some of the big important aspects of the game in a initial first encounter, get their feet wet, get their role-playing going if they want, establish some connections and dynamics between the characters, how their personalities interact, and then you just travel, do a random encounter till they get to the city, and you're off, you're rolling. The question, though, is how do we keep them together? Because once you get to the city or wherever they're going to, where they have their own personal business to take care of, how do you keep them together for longer? One aspect of this is sort of solidifying their personal bond together by keeping them together for as long as possible before they would logically split apart. So instead of the city they're on the way to, they're on to a small village, and it's a place to rest, which is on the way to where they're going. There could be problems in that village. They're constantly getting raided by bandits, maybe the same bandits that you came across before, or there's some sort of elemental imbalance, or there's a spirit supposedly haunting them, or there could be, or there's environmental elemental imbalance, a spirit is haunting the town, and there's some mystery to solve to deal with that. Maybe all of your players have a sense of duty to help people in this land. Maybe the characters have enough of a sense of duty to help people. You could theoretically have a couple of sessions of them just doing encounters and adventures centered around this village, helping the villagers out, and that time spent together or any time spent together, any time the party is doing stuff together, helps solidify that bond, which makes it more likely for them to either trust each other or really not trust each other and think that the other is an enemy, therefore we should keep an eye on them, keep your enemies close sort of thing. Increase the likelihood of any individual character having reason to keep traveling with these people as long as we're kind of going in the same general direction. Now, one of your players may say something to the effect of, hey, we're trying to look for our childhood friend and technically we're not even supposed to be here, maybe. Let's get a move on. We can't help these people. It's not our responsibility. Let's go. You might say both Crab Clan people in my example would say this, but as I said, they hate each other in this example. It's better if they hate each other at least a little bit and they're kind of forced together because that's drama. There's conflict there. Now we have opportunity for characterization, for players to express their character, to roleplay. And one of the person is like, yeah, our friend is missing, but these people, they need help. Their friend is also missing, and as a samurai, it is our duty to protect those under us, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe he's very noble and whatnot. The other one, not so much. And either this player gets convinced to help out a little bit. Okay, we'll help out a little bit, then we'll go on our way. And you've dodged that bullet, so you don't have to worry about the party being split. Or there's not really a bullet to begin with, because you're the GM, you're the god of this world. The impatient one leaves to go to the city where their first lead is for the person, the childhood friend that they're tracking down, and actually they get stopped somehow in one of a myriad of ways. Perhaps they just get attacked and they realize, oh, I shouldn't go alone, it's dangerous. They get their butt kicked. And you're not being unfair, you just give them a combat encounter that would be a decent challenge for an entire party, and they get their ass handed to them. It's not your fault. It was already going to be there. It was planned. It was going to be there the whole time. Those goblins were lying in wait the entire time. It's not your fault. So they retreat, or their mangled crab body gets brought back to the village, and now they almost feel obligated to help these people because they help nurse them back to health or whatever. Another trick you could do is to block off the path with something that would require the specialties of other party members. So if one person left to go follow the lead in this direction, and you want the group to go together, well, you could say that there's some sort of magical imbalance, which I was already established as a possibility, and that causes the river, not even a river, a babbling brook at its roughest, just outside in between the village and the city. You have to cross it, it's no big deal, except because of the elemental imbalance, it's raging rapids that no one could cross. This isn't natural, it's clearly not natural. Maybe I need that magic user Shugenja that's part of the party. Our traveling companions, maybe I need one of them. Or maybe there's an artisan character, a blacksmith peasant, or one of the players. They can craft me a grappling hook to Tsushima my way over the babbling rapids. I have to go back and get help from them. Do whatever you can to turn characters back and kind of force them to work together. And people might complain, oh, this is railroading or whatever. This allows characters of different backgrounds to make characters who wouldn't necessarily work together, but they still get to play D&D. They still get to play a tabletop RPG and do the conventional tabletop RPG things without having to change their character. They could, if they want, they could just make characters who just work together. But also you could do this, and this is also fun. It just takes a little bit of work. You have more freedom to make whatever character you want, but still we have a game to play, and you guys need to play together. Anyway, the more time they spend doing stuff together, the more of a bond their characters might have. They're more likely to travel together in the future, or more likely to consult each other for help in the future. You arrive at the city, you go your separate ways, then you realize, okay, our lead takes us to this bandit hideout that no one is doing anything with. The corrupt government isn't bothering to do anything. Right in the middle, the port harbor, there's some bandits and smugglers. That's where our guy is. We gotta go find our guy, but we need some help. We can't do it alone. That crane diplomat we saved that village with could maybe help talk to the police to help deal with the bandits there, or maybe if not, they had a big-ass bodyguard. Maybe we can enlist them to help, and I guess we might have to do something for them in return. And it makes more sense that they would help each other out and have these kind of deals helping each other out if they have a stronger bond and trust of working together with various adventures, which is why it's not a bad idea to kind of funnel them together at first to build that. Now, another thing you can do to keep all the party members together to make sure they have the same goal without being Emerald Magistrates. This is kind of an extreme one. You can't do this with every campaign, otherwise it's just boring. But basically, all of these people, disparate people, they are all in a particular place for some reason, maybe a diplomatic thing, maybe there's a festival going on, a tournament to celebrate the new allegiance or marrying between these two families, these two clans, whatever. There's some event going on, they're attending because they have to be because of their clan and political stuff. A big bad thing happens, and they end up getting blamed. There's some big blood magic ritual that happens that kills a bunch of people and zombies attack, and they're seen seemingly not affected by the ritual whatsoever for whatever reason. And so they are now blamed. They are part of it. They are part of this conspiracy, or they are part of the Colette Saboteur conspiracy which attacked this event, or something. Maybe someone has it in for them, maybe someone needs a patsy, but they are all accused of working together to do a bad thing, even though they barely know each other. So now they have to work with each other to clear their names. And then everything you do is just all around that one goal, and they're constantly in hiding, going from place to place across the land trying to solve their problem. Again, it's kind of an extreme case. You don't want to do that for every campaign. People will get bored of it. Anyway, that is it for today.